What to do when you've been cheated on. Hi everyone, this is Nathan Chua from One Life Only Counseling Services. Today we're tackling a hard but very real question. What do you do if you've been cheated on? Remember, this is a second part of two vlogs that I've created. And the first one was for people who have cheated on their partners or have had an affair outside of their long-term relationship. Okay. So now as I promised, I'll be giving you the second part. Infidelity is painful. There are no quick fixes. But I want to share now how IBCT or Integrative Behavioral Couple Therapy guides us in facing betrayal with honesty, courage, and compassion. So, accepting the reality. In IBCT, the first step is acceptance of reality. Psychology at its core can be simple. Life and relationships are hard. Being in a long term relationship means you will face struggles, and infidelity may be one of them. So, we don't have a crystal ball to the future. So, every time uh, a couple goes up in front of an altar and or makes a commitment with each other for a long term engagement or relationship, infidelity is always a possibility. All right. The role of psychology isn't to erase the pain or make life easy. It's to help us respond in ways that don't add on more suffering. In ACBS, the international community I belong to, our shared goal is to alleviate suffering and influence behavior towards prosperity. Not prosperity in the financial sense, but prosperity in the sense of living meaningfully, even with life's difficulties. So, if you've been betrayed, the first step is to acknowledge that it has happened. And yes, it hurts. Yes, trust has been broken. And yes, this is now part of your story. In IBCT, we have what we call emotional sensitivities. And one of the parts of your history uh, that brings about these emotional sensitivities or emotional reactions is your history as a couple, right? So once you've had some kind of infidelity issues within your relationship, it's now part of your history together as a couple. Acceptance doesn't mean approval, though. It means facing the truth as the ground for healing. So this is where we start from the truth. All right. Emotional disclosure. One of the one IBCT principle is empathic joining. This means partners sharing painful emotions in a way that fosters connection, not distance. So, what emotions can we be more disclosing of that fosters connection? Kasi if lagi na lang galit, lagi na lang naninita or nagpaparinig, that usually fosters more distance than connection. So, if you've been cheated on, your role is to let your partner know what you truly feel. Pwedeng sadness, pwedeng anger, pwedeng fear, without only attacking or shutting down. So madalas ganun, di ba? We call that in psychology fight or freeze or flight response. All right? Example, instead of saying, "You've ruined everything, I hate you," try, "I feel crushed and afraid I can't trust you again." This opens the door to being heard rather than escalating blame. So I can see that in couple therapy, madalas uh, the betrayed partner doesn't feel heard because yung entrada niya, yung pasok niya, medyo matapang na, galit na, no? Which is okay, But if you say it in an attacking or blaming way, what you usually get from your partner is defensiveness. So it just escalates, and then the betraying partner would then blame the injured partner that I did this because of you, blah blah blah. So tuloy-tuloy na, it doesn't stop, no? So it shifts the focus from accusation to authentic disclosure if you uh, share things in a more vulnerable way. All right, which is the only time or the only way dialogue can begin. Okay, so if you're not being authentic, if you're hiding behind your anger, and anger is usually a surface emotion, then what you end up is not even starting to have a dialogue. All right, so tolerance building. IBCT also teaches tolerance building. Betrayal doesn't vanish overnight. It leaves scars. Tolerance means recognizing that both partners now carry vulnerabilities. So hindi like I said in one of my blogs, we are not cell phones, no? We can't be programmed and do something 99.98% accurately right away in a flick of a finger, no? So uh or in a snap of a finger, no? So what we usually see among us is that we learn very slowly. So the betrayed partner has to live with the uncertainty, with the fear of betrayal happening again, right? And the unfaithful partner has to live with guilt and shame and tolerate the slow rebuilding of trust. So it's going to be slow. For the betrayed partner, there will always be that uncertainty and fear again. So again, we're not cell phones. We cannot just delete that memory of the betrayal. There's no uninstall button in our heads, no? This mutual tolerance is not resignation. It's the space where healing becomes possible. You're both learning to live with pain while working toward growth. Okay. So, what can you do if you've been cheated on? Here are some IBCT based steps. Seek radical acceptance. Don't pretend you're okay if you're not. Share your pain openly. Secrecy and minimization block healing. So, madalas yan nangyayari. Betrayed partners don't want to create conflict, so they want to keep the peace, so to speak, because the kids are watching, etc., etc. Well, again, if we go on the blame game, that usually uh, slides into that, the shouting, the screaming, the silent treatment, no? So, and usually pretending or keeping quiet usually just builds resentment inside, especially for the betrayed partner. All right. So, next is set clear boundaries. So, healing requires safety, being clear about what you need moving forward. So, um, it takes a little bit of assertiveness to do this, no? So, uh, tell your partner honestly what you can and cannot tolerate at the moment. Okay. So guided conversations, no? So IBCT sessions with a therapist help both partners explore emotions and discover new ways of connecting. Okay. Now there's a tricky question couples often face here. Should the betrayed partner ask for or be given graphic details of the affair? So this is a big question, no? And I used to use the Gottman method. So some experts, like the Gottmans, recommend against it because those images can become intrusive and re-traumatizing. And yes, that's true. Many couples don't really benefit with graphic details. And that's statistically that may be true. But in contextual therapy or the field that I'm in, contextual behavioral science, we avoid blanket rules. Every couple is unique. For some partners, asking for details really does serve trust building. If you can answer me here, maybe I can believe you again. Yun yung tanong, di ba? The act of disclosure itself becomes part of repair. So, hindi natin linalahat. But of course, Gottmans are right in some ways because generally, it often uh, traps you into unhelpful ways of dealing with reality. Okay. So, one of the first steps to know if you're actually doing this is to notice why you want details. Okay? Bakit ka nagtatanong ng graphic details? Baka it's about punishment, no? I want you to hurt as much as I do. This may bring short-term relief, but long-term, it deepens bitterness. Kasi yung partner mo na nag-betray sa'yo or nag-participate in an affair, will build resentment inside also because he or she feels that he or she is being punished or they have been are being punished. Okay. Also can be about avoidance, yung pag-ask mo ng details, focusing on where, when, how many times, instead of the scarier questions. Mas scary kasi magtanong na, what does this mean to our relationship? It's trying to acknowledge that, getting to acknowledge that you have somehow been part of why this happened. I'm not saying we're victim blaming here. I'm just saying that that's the harder question to ask kasi masakit malaman yon na nagkulang ka rin for some reason or another, no? In one way or another. Or can I ever trust you again? So that's also a hard question because moving forward, that trust is always going to be a little bit shaky, no? So uh, eventually just to goes down to how you handle this in this moment so that you get the reassurance that you want, no? Details distract from deeper healing. So instead of focusing on moving forward and getting the assurance that you want, you're just avoiding focusing on the harder questions, no? Like, paano natin uumpisan ito ulit? And what can we do about this so it doesn't happen again, no? It can be about control also. If I know everything, I can prevent all surprises. I won't be blindsided again. That can provide temporary safety, but risks creating surveillance instead of rebuilding intimacy. So madalas yan nag-aaway yung mag-partner kasi I've seen that in some couples where it's become a surveillance game, no? Well, you have to do this, not this. Every minute you have to do this, that, not that. It never ends. And yeah, you get temporary relief. Minsan gagawin ng partner mo kung ano yung gusto mo, pero your partner will not be a robot, no? Hindi siya cellphone na he or she or they will do the same thing consistently over time, accurately and dependably, no? So the key is not whether you should or shouldn't share details, but whether you're doing so, both of you, but whether doing so helps both of you move toward healing and reconnection, rather than keeping you stuck in cycles of pain. All right? So it's not about the rules because most of the time, nag-aaway din yung couple. Kasi hindi ba, sabi ng counselor natin, dapat i-share mo lahat, di ba? So, ayan, away ka. Hindi, instead of just sharing details, you also fight about the rule that you shouldn't be sharing details or you should be sharing details. All right? Or you should be asking details or shouldn't be asking details. All right? So, we don't want that to happen na lagi lang tayo nasa surface. No? So, every couple will know by their own experience what helps and what doesn't help them. All right? Being cheated on doesn't have to be the end. Just move this. So in case your view gets blocked, okay. Being cheated on doesn't have to be the end. IBCT teaches us that couples can grow stronger when they face betrayal with openness, acceptance, and the courage to tolerate pain while moving forward. And here's the heart of it: trust is not rebuilt by following rules like never ask or always tell, right? So again, if we follow rules, we're going to fight about the rules. Okay? Trust is rebuilt when partners together discover what choices actually serve their healing in their unique context. So it's a process of discovery of what serves them well and what doesn't serve them well. All right? For some, that means limiting details to protect against trauma. For others, it means answering even hard questions to show nothing is being hidden. But what matters is that these choices are guided by love, by a willingness to repair, and by a commitment to rebuild or to building something new together. Okay? So if the motivation behind it is just to avoid uh, m- hurt, avoid the emotional pain, or having a sense of control or a sense of punishing the other person, usually it'll just extend the problem. Okay? So if you've been cheated on, know this. The path forward is not about erasing the past. It's about writing a new chapter, one marked by honesty, resilience, and the possibility of deeper connection. So I'm Nathan Chua, and this is One Life Only Counseling Services. If this video spoke to you or podcast spoke to you, please do share it. And remember, even in betrayal, there can still be a path forward if both partners are willing to walk it together. Okay? So that's all, folks. You take care, and I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.